Here are your 3 tips for Chapter 7 of the text for SPC Music Theory. Tip 1. Practice the ability to name stacked thirds quickly. This chapter discusses the different qualities of triad chords. Having the ability to quickly name pitches that are thirds apart is important. If this takes you a bit of time or a great amount of thinking, practice this skill every day starting now. One way is to think of the lines and spaces on the music staff. If your starting note is on a line, keep naming lines above it. If your starting note is on a space, keep naming spaces above it. Tip 2. Choose a primary method and a backup method for naming triads. Then name the letters of major triads out loud and play them on an instrument for feedback. You will need to be able to identify chords of all qualities, major, minor, augmented, and diminished, but naming major triads is a great starting place. There are several approaches to construct a major triad explained in the book and supplemental materials. Read and practice all of them. Choose one that works best for you, and know at least one other one to double-check your answer. Say the names of the triad out loud, then play on some instrument, which can include a virtual keyboard, to check yourself with aural feedback. Tip 3. Understand triad inversion symbols and figured bass symbols. Page 145 to 148 introduces triad inversions. Realize that the lowest sounding pitch of a triad, meaning if it's the root, the third, or the fifth, is what designates the inversion position, and not the notes above the bass. Page 150 to 153 introduces a related but different concept called figured bass. Figured bass notation always involves a given bass note along with figures, which are numbers and or symbols written below the staff. When dealing with figured bass notation, even the absence of figures below tells us vital information to realize a chord. Read through this section a few times, as it is new material for most. Remember, these videos are a supplement to the reading and do not replace the required reading you should do and the engaged thinking you should do throughout the workbook exercises.